Hello, Animo greetings. My name is Brent, and the task that was given to me to report is Discovery Learning. This time, we're going to learn more about it.
Okay, so welcome back to the presentation. And as I've said a while ago, the task that was given to me is all about discovery learning. And this time, we are going to delve more on the topic itself. So, just a little background. Discovery Learning Theory, or DLT, it was actually created by Jerome Bruner. He's an American psychologist in the year 1961. And moving on, the definition of discovery learning theory is that it's another method of inquiry based instruction wherein it encourages the learners to build on past experiences and knowledge, uses their intuition, imagination, and creativity in search for new information to discover facts, correlations, and new truths. Learning is not equal to absorbing what was said or read, but actively seeking for answers and solution. Furthermore, in discovery learning theory, it is highly student centered because the students themselves discover what are the things that they could learn in a certain task or activity, and the teachers, on the other hand, serve as mere facilitators or guide of the students in their pursuit of knowledge. And to continue, the discovery learning theory has 5 principles that we need to discover and to discuss. Those are the following: problem solving, learner management, integrating and connecting, information analysis and interpretation, failure, and feedback. We have here principle number 1, wherein instructors should guide and motivate learners to seek solutions by combining existing and newly acquired information and simplifying knowledge. This way, learners are the driving force behind learning and can take an active role for establishing broader applications for skills through activities that encourage risks, problem solving, and probing. Second, instructors should allow participants to work either alone or with others and learn at their own pace. This flexibility makes learning the exact opposite of a static sequencing of lessons and activities. It relieves the learners from unnecessary stress and it makes them feel their own learning. Third, instructors should teach learners how to combine prior knowledge with new and encourage them to connect to the real world. Familiar scenarios become the basis of new information, encouraging learners to extend what they know and invent something new. The fourth principle is for students to discover learning is process oriented and content oriented, and it is based on the assumption that learning is not a mere set of facts. Learners, in fact, learn to analyze and interpret the acquired information rather than memorize the correct answer. And lastly, the fifth principle: learning doesn't only occur when we find the right answers, it also occurs through failure. Discovery learning does not focus on finding the right end result, but the new things we discover in the process. And it's the instructor's responsibility to provide feedback, since without it, learning is incomplete. Up next, we have here the key advantages and drawbacks or setbacks of DLT. We have here the advantages. And for the first advantage is that it encourages motivation, active involvement, and creativity. The second one, it can be adjusted to the learner's pace. The third one, it promotes autonomy and independence. And lastly, it ensures higher levels of retention. Well, this can be basically explained when a student has been exploring to a certain task on his own. Just like, for example, a research work. He delves more on the topic and he conducts it on his own. Basically, the student can adjust his own his own pace in doing the research work, and most especially his motivation and active involvement and creativity would be relevant considering the varied topic. If the topic is forced down on his throat, then most probably that would make him disengage and aloof with the topic, unlike with the topic that he himself have chosen it. Furthermore, it promotes autonomy and independence because he is responsible to his own learning, whether or not he does it or he learns from it. That's ultimately his own choice. Furthermore, it ensures higher levels of retention because it is an experiential knowledge. Basically, it charges to his experience whatever that he is doing or will be doing. Next, we have here the drawbacks. We have the disadvantage. The first one is that it needs a solid framework because the endless wondering and seeking for answer might be confusing. Second, it shouldn't be used as main instruction method because it has limitations in practice and might produce inadequate education. And one example that I can give to this slide is that in our economics class, our teacher have utilized an online book, and she said that we're going to study this book for quite some time, and we were actually forced to also read that one on our own, and then she would never ever explain that in class because it's a waste of time. She would say that we should be responsible to our own learning. However, this does not apply to discovery learning method because it needs to be assessed, and at the same time the teacher should have a common ground for the topic. Basically, it eases out or it flattens the confusion rate among the students as to how they construe a certain topic. Next, number 3. Instructors need to be well prepared and anticipate the questions they may receive and be able to provide right answers or guidelines. And lastly, at a certain level, it rejects the idea that there are significant skills and knowledge that all learners need to learn. And in continuation with my example a while ago about economics, our teacher does not accept any questions at all, or if she wants to entertain questions, it's about the activity or the activities that we have, not about the topic itself. It is really, really difficult when the students has their own different understanding of the topic at hand. They could debate, argue at some point, and the teacher's role is highlighted on this part of discovery learning method because he or she should be prepared when the student asks a question. So basically, the teacher does not only let the students read the entire book about economic planning, but at the same time, if she wants us to read that one and learn from it on our own, she also need to discuss it, the common ground, for students to have a common understanding of the concepts. And um, I think that's it for this example. So the bottom line is that discovery learning method is actually great because it lets the students engage themselves to topics, to various activities that they themselves learn and remember all throughout their lifetime because they have done it. For example, experiments, mathematical equations, readings, etc. There are a lot. But the bottom line is that teachers should not make this as the central point wherein um, it becomes the main topic itself. This should be the support of the topic to enhance the learning of the students. So that's it. This would be the end of the presentation. Thank you.